Hello and welcome to the Synapse Sessions Digital Exhibitor Hall. Today I'm joined by Dr. Brad Ralston and Curtis from the Reflex app. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Thank you.
All right. Hey, so the Reflex app, I've heard a lot about it from Dr. Carrick. He's the one that first introduced it to all the scholars at the Carrick Institute. He's been talking about it in the clinical neuroscience courses and a lot about it in the concussion rehabilitation program. So I know he loves the app. He's a big fan of it, but you may be new to a lot of our scholars that are attending Synapse sessions this weekend. What is the big deal with the Reflex app? What does it do? What is it all about?
Yeah, for the first time ever, you can have a pupillometer on your mobile phone, and it allows you to capture pupillary light reflex data for neurological assessments.
Okay. So when you say pupillometer, what can tell me? So I remember looking at pupils and the pupillary light reflex, and it was a very subjective thing. Like literally, you shine a light, you would see it constrict. If it constricted, hopefully it constricted, right? You would see it fatigue, it would open up. You make sure that the other eye did that as well, and that was that. So what are we doing with this technology? How does this work?
Yeah, with this technology, we are capable of making the subjective assessment objective. So it allows you, the clinician, to take in more accurate information to gauge assessments for those neurological aberrations you would see.
Okay. You know, one of the best ways to communicate this is to see it. Can you guys demo how this kind of works?
Yeah, definitely. Sure.
Okay, so in that time that the camera was up to the eye, that's all you needed to grab that data?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fast. About how many seconds total do you think that was?
From entering patient data to taking the test and processing results, it's about 30 seconds.
Okay, and I'm assuming, and I can't see it from the side, it's using the, geez, I have my phone right here. It's using the little flash there to give the light stimulus, right?
Yeah.
Which has got to be terribly convenient considering the camera and the flash are literally right next to each other in the latest iPhone design. So thank good. And well, the latest iPhone just came out, so I hope the design still works. I believe it does. I believe it does. So it's shining the light, right? So you see the reflex, and at that point, the camera is gathering all that information, right?
Yeah, it captures the video while the flash is enabled, and you can see here that the video is being acquired, and it processes the data and displays it to the user.
Okay, great. Can you kind of show us what some of this this initial report kind of looks like? What's it telling us?
Yeah, sure. So obviously you have access to the video, and then you have access to the pupillogram, so the specific measurements of the diameter of the pupil that's displayed to the user, and then all of the calculated parameters from that pupillogram. So this includes, for this particular test type, things like the constriction speed and the maximum constriction speed and latency. So a lot of the parasympathetic side of parameters for the pupillary light reflex.
Excellent. So Dr. Ralston, I know you use this program a lot. What's the population that you're using it the most with, and how do you glean information that you're pulling from the subjective test relative to the patient populations you're seeing? Like, how do you start applying it?
Like you said, you know, the pupillary light reflex that we use at the bedside is sort of subjective. This gives us a really objective data point to measure parasympathetic versus sympathetic flow in the patient. We use it with our neuro patients to look at brain fatigue, but especially our concussion patients, where we can get some certain data points like amplitude, velocity, 75% recovery time, and see if they're falling in a range of normal versus abnormal. And that helps us judge not only how they're, the state of their brain when they're starting, but then we do our rehab process and afterwards remeasure to see that they're back in range.
So the app does give you some sort of norms to compare your individual patient to?
Yes, there's some published concussion norms that we go by. But it
beautiful,
shows you what's abnormal and what's out of range. So like at the bedside, if I'm working with a kid and he's had a recent event, I kind of know that he's had an event that's significant if his PLR falls out of range.
Okay, excellent. So what is this you're pulling up? I guess there's a PDF report that it sends to you as well?
Yes, I'm pulling up the PDF report. We also have CSV exportation as well. So these are the exported parameters along with the normative data.
Beautiful. And PDF formats can go right into a patient's chart. Dr. Ralston, you said you do this test on every single patient. Do you administer it yourself, or do you have a tech do it? How hard or easy is it to kind of fit into a practice?
It fits really easy. So I do my exam, and then my techs, as they're doing the diagnostic tests such as CAPS or right eye or VNG, they go ahead and do the reflex test, and they print out this PDF and put it in their chart. So I have all that data when I go back in and see it.
That's the way I do it. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this is actually really incredible, man. I totally understand why Dr. Carrick would be a huge fan of this, because I mean, it looks really easy to use. The data that you're getting is amazing. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing that we have a computer in our pocket that can observe something like this and give us some beautiful data behind it. And then the fact that we could use it for reassessment to find out if we're going in the right direction for our patients, that's what I see as an incredible value. Because to do a 30-second reassessment that's not subjective, instead of being like, do you feel better? Do you feel better? Do you feel better? That's, the way I do it is I would ask them when I see that this test gets better and maybe other objective test gets better. And then I'd ask them if they felt better. So hopefully you only get some positive responses to that. But this is really, really amazing. You guys recently had another update for your Reflex platform, I guess, because it's becoming more than just an iPhone app, right?
Yes, we've recently launched our iPad solution. It gives you a new clinical form factor for an iPad Pro that has a flash in the back of it. And you can see with the screen here that we have a more consolidated version that allows you to show right and left on the same screen. You can play these videos simultaneously and then compare this data as well.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we have charting available for the eyes, so you can see major differences as you keep track of them over time on a percent basis. And then again, you can also export from this as well. But this gives you a more intuitive form factor for going from patient to test to results.
Yeah. And I love that you guys actually went to the iPad, because I mean, it's getting to the point where doctors are inputting their notes right on an iPad. I mean, they're walking in with an iPad, they're doing exams, they're putting it into the iPad. You could hold it up, do a test now apparently, and get the data right there. I mean, this is the future, is what it feels like.
And it gives you seamless integration with your mobile phone version as well. You can see that all the tests we just took are up here available as well from the mobile phone.
So it's all in the cloud in like a safe environment, right?
Yep.
And syncs over. Oh, amazing.
Yep.
This is pretty cool. This has already gotten better than when I first heard about it. So this is actually really impressive to see the iPad, because I've not seen that yet. So I'm pretty impressed, gentlemen. Nice job with that, guys. Is there anything else that our scholars need to know about the Reflex app and the platform now?
Well, we just launched this particular solution. We are doing a giveaway for the iPad for this particular Synapse session. And we do have a promotion running at the moment as well. If you sign up for a year, then you get a free iPad.
Okay, awesome. So if everybody wants to take advantage of that, fill out the form below, and they're going to get a hold of you. And I know they're going to give a license away for the iPad version as well for a year to use the software there, which is really generous of them. So make sure to play all the games. Dr. Ralston, Curtis, thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate you telling us about the Reflex app and walking us through both the phone and the iPad version. Love the new version. Love the side-by-side. You guys are doing great things, and I can't wait to see what the Reflex app is going to have in the future as well. Thank you very much for your time today, gentlemen.
Thank you.